Chosen one, pause and breathe, because heaven is leaning in your direction right now. You did not click this message by accident. You were summoned into this moment because the prophetic scroll with your name on it is beginning to unseal in perfect kairos timing. Something written over your life before you ever took your first breath is stirring, rising and aligning. The anointed one within you can already feel it. You are standing at the edge of a destined moment, a holy unlocking that could unfold today, tonight, or in the coming hours. This is the appointed hour on heaven's clock, the moment spoken of in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, when the vision no longer delays but steps into manifestation. Chosen one. The atmosphere around your life is shifting. The seals are breaking. The gates are opening. What was once hidden is beginning to move toward you with divine acceleration. You are entering a window that was written for you, and only you a moment when God says, "This is your last open door. Let your spirit awaken. Let expectancy rise." Heaven is preparing to transform something in your body, your spirit, or your circumstances. Lean in, anointed one. Your kairos moment is here. Chosen one. There is a stirring in the unseen realms around you, a quiet yet undeniable confirmation that heaven has convened on your behalf. When I tell you that a heavenly courtroom has already reviewed your case, I am not speaking in metaphor. I am echoing what your spirit has felt for months without having language for it. Something in you has known that decisions were being made over your destiny, and today you are sensing the shift because the verdict is moving from heaven into manifestation. The ruling was rendered in your favor long before you saw evidence of change, and this moment is not random. This is the hour when concealed decrees begin revealing themselves. This is the moment when what was settled in the spirit begins to touch the natural. And as I speak to you, anointed one, something dormant in your life is already responding to the call of fulfillment. The reason you are urged to stay until the very end is because this is not merely information being delivered to your ears. It is activation being released into your life. There are words reserved for this precise moment that will unlock regions of your destiny that have been asleep for years. You may not realize how many promises have remained curled inside you, waiting for one divine sound, one prophetic instruction, one kairos breath from heaven. Today carries that breath. Today carries that sound. And when you agree with heaven in even the smallest action, you sign your name onto a covenant written for you before you ever stepped into time. Agreement is not symbolic. It is spiritual law. When you respond in obedience, you signal that you recognize your moment, and heaven honors those who discern timing. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, there is an appointed time for every vision, and this chosen one is yours. You have endured more than you admit out loud, and the weight you have carried has lasted longer than it should have. You have tolerated pain that was never meant to define your identity. You have carried burdens that were meant to be temporary, but attached themselves to you because you kept choosing survival instead of surrender. You kept saying, "I can make it one more day," not realizing that heaven was waiting for you to say enough. Just like Pharaoh, who delayed the ending of a plague. Because he believed another day of endurance was easier than immediate obedience, you too have postponed your own deliverance at times. But the Father who watches you with relentless tenderness is now declaring that the season of stretching has served its purpose, and the time of release has come. You do not need to prove your strength anymore. You have already passed the test. Chosen one. God saw every moment when you hid your tears behind a closed door. He heard every trembling prayer whispered in the car when you asked him silently if he had forgotten you. He witnessed the nights you laid awake, wondering if you misheard his promises, and yet you kept believing even when nothing made sense. Heaven was not silent during those moments. It was recording them. Angels took note of your endurance, your refusal to collapse under pressure, your willingness to cling to faith when hope felt thin. You thought you were being punished, but you were being prepared. You thought the delay meant you were behind, but you were being positioned. What felt like rejection was actually God redirecting you into the narrow path of purpose that only the chosen walk. Every disappointment was not a denial, it was a divine detour away from paths that would have suffocated your calling. The heaviness you carried was not wasted. Every closed door was protection. Every unanswered question was guidance. Every silent season was God strengthening your inner foundation, so the weight of glory you are about to receive would not crush you. You may not realize it yet, but nothing that happened to you was random. Destiny has architecture, and every painful brick was placed with intention. The enemy wanted you to interpret delay as abandonment, but heaven has been working while you waited. The storm that surrounded your life was not designed to destroy you. It was crafted to push you into alignment. The stillness you experienced was not absence. It was orchestration. The silence you felt was not neglect. It was God clearing the noise around you so that when He spoke, you would know it was Him. And now, chosen one, heaven is opening. There is movement in the realms above you. There is activity in the angelic hierarchy concerning your name. I have seen in the Spirit a radiant white horse carrying the one who is faithful and true, the one whose eyes burn like fire because he sees deeper than your outward battle. He carries many crowns because he rules over every circumstance shaping your story. The robe dipped in blood is the reminder that your victory was sealed long before your battle began. What is approaching you now is not judgment, it is justice. What is drawing near is the restoration of everything stolen, withheld, delayed, or buried. You are entering the hour where heaven enforces what has always belonged to you. Chosen one. As this heavenly scene unfolds, you may feel something stirring inside you that you cannot quite explain, a trembling in the deeper layers of your spirit that tells you you are standing in a moment that is not ordinary. You are stepping into a divine convergence, where everything that once seemed disconnected is suddenly weaving itself into clarity. What you thought were random seasons of hardship were actually synchronized steps on a scroll written long before you arrived on this earth. This is why certain doors had to close without warning, and why certain people had to exit without explanation. The anointed one within you was being prepared for this unveiling, and now heaven is breathing upon chapters of your destiny that have waited in silence, hidden until the appointed time. As you listen, you may sense a pressure lifting, almost as if unseen shackles are loosening from your mind and your emotions, because heaven is declaring that you are no longer bound to the delay that once held you captive. Your spirit already knows that something is shifting because the atmosphere around your life has begun to change. The winds of transition have been whispering your name, signaling that the season you once endured is not the season you are entering. In my own journey, I felt this kind of shift before when everything externally seemed stagnant, but my spirit felt restless, as though heaven were quietly telling me, "Prepare. Something is moving." In those moments, I learned that what God orchestrates often begins unseen, and by the time it reaches your natural life, the breakthrough has already been decided in the Spirit. Chosen one. The same is happening to you now. The verdict was rendered weeks, months, maybe even years ago, and only now is the manifestation beginning to break through. As heaven opens, you may feel a gentle weight settle upon your shoulders, not the weight of burden, but the weight of glory. It is the awareness that the one who rides the white horse is not approaching you as a distant ruler, but as a defender who has taken your battle personally. Every flame in his eyes carries the truth that he has not forgotten a single detail of what you faced. Every crown on his head is a reminder that your circumstances do not outrule his authority. When he steps into your situation, everything that opposed you begins to tremble because darkness recognizes the sound of the King. You may not see the armies of heaven surrounding him, but your spirit feels it. You feel the atmosphere thickening with spiritual electricity, and you know intuitively that help has arrived and that the tide is turning in your favor. The breakthroughs that are coming toward you are not random manifestations of luck. They are legal transactions in the spirit outcomes of verdicts heaven has already stamped with approval. Within the next 72 hours, the first signs of this shift may appear. It could be a message. You were not expecting a decision that suddenly turns in your favor, or a financial blessing that arrives without warning. I have lived through moments like these myself, where for months everything seemed frozen, and then, suddenly, everything began moving in a matter of hours. This is how heaven works when kairos timing arrives. It moves quickly, surgically, with precision, and nothing can resist it. Before this month ends, the blessing that reaches you will not be small or subtle. It will be the kind that alters your posture, the kind that makes you pause and exhale because you finally feel the weight of years lifting off your shoulders. You will know it is God because it will come in a way no human could orchestrate. It will overflow into places of your life that you forgot needed healing. It will touch financial concerns, relational wounds, mental fatigue, and spiritual dryness. And it will come with the unmistakable signature of heaven, a peace that settles into your spirit like a warm covering. Chosen one. Heaven has also decreed a lifting of financial burdens that have weighed on your heart. Debt that once felt impossible to overcome will begin dissolving through unexpected opportunities, divine favor, and supernatural intervention. This is not wishful thinking. It is the result of heaven rewriting your financial story. The favor assigned to you for the next season is not normal favor. It is strategic favor designed to position you for long-term stability, legacy, and influence. For the next 777 days, you will walk in a grace that surpasses human logic. Opportunities will approach you before you pursue them. People who once overlooked you will seek your presence. Paths that were blocked will open effortlessly because heaven has authorized your advancement. Divine connections will begin to surface, people whose presence in your life will accelerate your purpose. In my own journey, I have seen how one conversation or one unexpected meeting can shift the entire trajectory of a season. You are about to encounter the kind of people who carry keys you did not know you needed, people who have been prepared to unlock levels in you that have been dormant. These connections will not be random. They will be orchestrated by heaven, aligned in such a way that when you meet them, your spirit will instantly recognize the significance of the moment. The healing releasing into your body is not symbolic. It is literal. Heaven is targeting areas that have been afflicted for years. Pain is dissolving. Cells are being restored. Energy is returning. Peace is rising. The enemy has tried to use sickness, anxiety, and mental fatigue to delay your calling, but heaven is intervening. Healing is not coming gradually. It is coming as a surge of holy power designed to restore what life has taken from you. Chosen one as heaven, begins to move on your behalf, the enemy becomes aware of what is unfolding and attempts to interfere with the alignment that has been prepared for you. He senses the unlocking of your destiny and fights to pull you into doubt and distraction. Yet what he does not realize is that the anointed one within you has grown stronger through every trial you endured. The enemy used hardship to break you, but God used hardship to build you. And now the very weapons formed against you are losing their power because you are stepping into a season where your spirit recognizes warfare instantly and refuses to bow. You may feel moments of heaviness or confusion in the coming days, but these will not be signs of defeat. They will be indicators that you are crossing into territory the enemy never wanted you to claim. Breakthrough does not arrive in silence. It sends a tremor through the atmosphere as it approaches. There are individuals in your life who once held power over your emotions or decisions, but their influence is dissolving. The person who blocked your blessing senses intuitively that their grip is slipping. Their plans will not succeed because heaven is exposing every hidden scheme designed to mislead you. People who spoke against you in private are about to be revealed not because God seeks to embarrass them, but because He is clearing your path for acceleration. The curses that once trailed your lineage are breaking because your obedience has shifted the narrative. I know what it feels like to carry the weight of generational patterns that seem impossible to overcome. I have watched God dismantle what tormented my family for decades the moment I stepped into alignment. You are about to witness the same transformation. What hindered those before you will not hinder you. Every trap the enemy set for you is reversing. The lies spoken about you are collapsing under truth. The attempts to sabotage your progress are scattering. I have lived through seasons where rumors were spread, doors were closed, and people who claimed loyalty turned away only to later discover that heaven had used all of it as a purification process. The same is happening for you. What looked like betrayal was actually God removing access from those who could not go where you are going. The hedge of fire around your life now is not symbolic. It is a spiritual barrier that prevents any attack from reaching you. Angels are stationed around your home, your health, your finances, and your calling, ensuring that nothing formed against you succeeds. Chosen one. As this divine protection intensifies, heaven releases instructions that must be followed with precision. When God delivers a word tied to timing, obedience becomes the bridge between revelation and manifestation. In my own walk, every breakthrough that carried significant weight came after a moment of surrender that seemed small but shifted everything. Heaven may ask you to speak declarations aloud, not for theatrics, but because your voice carries authority in the unseen realm. When you speak truth, it echoes. When you declare your identity, darkness retreats. Heaven may prompt you to cleanse your environment from influences that contradict your destiny. This is not about legalism, but alignment. A cluttered atmosphere can distort spiritual clarity, and God is calling you into a season where clarity is essential. Sharing this message with specific people may feel inconvenient, but it serves a deeper purpose. Your breakthrough is connected to theirs, and theirs is connected to yours. Heaven weaves destinies together in ways we cannot comprehend. In my life, there have been moments when obedience to share a prophetic word with someone unlocked blessings for both of us. When God nudges your spirit with a name, it is because that person is standing on the threshold of their own kairos moment. Your obedience becomes the spark that ignites their faith. Sowing a seed, whether through generosity or an act of kindness, is not about transaction. It is about alignment. It positions your heart in expectancy and opens your spirit to receive what heaven is releasing. I've witnessed miracles unfold after acts of generosity that made no logical sense at the time. They were seeds planted in faith, and heaven responded with harvest. You too will witness this principle unfold. Your giving, when led by the Holy Spirit, becomes a prophetic act that triggers divine reciprocation. Chosen one, timing matters. When instruction comes with urgency, delay becomes a spiritual risk. Not because God punishes delay, but because spiritual windows open and close. I have missed moments by hesitating out of fear or doubt, only to later recognize that heaven had offered me a divine invitation that required immediate response. Do not let hesitation become the thief of what heaven prepared for you. Others in the world are praying for the breakthrough assigned to your name. If you do not step into your moment, it shifts to the one who is ready. Your testimony is approaching, and heaven is preparing to make it loud enough that no one will doubt the hand of God on your life. Breakthrough does not whisper, it announces itself. It transforms your environment, your relationships, your internal landscape. People around you will recognize that something has shifted because your countenance will shine differently. Your walk will carry peace that cannot be explained. Your decisions will carry authority that surprises even you. This is the fruit of divine intervention. Chosen one, as the movement of heaven intensifies around your life, you may begin to notice unusual signs, subtle shifts in your atmosphere that seem almost insignificant at first, but carry profound spiritual meaning. These signs are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the supernatural realm is leaning closer to you than ever before. You may sense sudden moments of peace in the middle of chaos, or experience a strange clarity rising within you, even when circumstances appear uncertain. These moments are not emotional fluctuations. They are evidence that the Spirit of God is aligning you for what comes next. In my own walk, I have learned that when heaven prepares to elevate you, it first adjusts your internal world, awakening you to subtle signals that your natural mind cannot interpret on its own. You are stepping into that very phase now where your spirit becomes more aware of divine activity than your physical senses. As these shifts take place, heaven is not only moving around you, but also within you. There is a strengthening occurring in your inner man, a recalibration of your identity, your courage, and your spiritual posture. You may feel old insecurities losing their grip, thought patterns that once tormented you dissolving quietly, and fears that once held you hostage becoming strangely powerless. That is because the Anointed One in you is rising with a new level of authority. Every season of struggle you faced was preparing you for this elevation. Even the moments when you questioned your worth, when you felt overlooked or forgotten, were part of a divine classroom shaping your resilience. You were being trained for a fight that was never meant to break you, but to reveal who you truly are. Heaven saw every moment, and heaven rewarded every moment. The shaking in your life was not punishment, it was pruning. God cuts away what cannot carry the weight of your next chapter. You may have lost relationships you thought would last forever, but heaven saw where those connections would lead you. You may have walked through financial strain that made you question your ability to survive, but heaven allowed it, so that when abundance comes, you recognize it as His doing and not your own. In those seasons, I too questioned the process, wondering why God allowed me to feel stripped, emptied, and stretched beyond comfort. But later, I realized those were the moments when God was secretly building the backbone of my calling. You too will look back and realize that what felt like loss was actually preparation for increase. Chosen one. Your spirit has been sensing a new alignment, and that alignment is the doorway into your prophetic timeline. Heaven has been repositioning people around you, removing some and sending others. This is not random social change, it is destiny selection. Those who were not meant to walk into your next season have been gently moved aside, while those who carry purpose, wisdom, and divine connection are beginning to surface. You are entering the season where divine appointments unfold with ease. Someone may cross your path in the coming days whose presence feels strangely familiar, as if your spirits recognize each other before your minds do. This is how heaven orchestrates connections subtly, yet supernaturally, quietly, yet unmistakably. Breakthrough is drawing near, and you may feel anticipation rising, even if nothing in the natural appears different. That anticipation is spiritual proof. Heaven always stirs your spirit before it shifts your circumstances. When God prepares to move, He awakens your inner senses first. The coming days may bring unexpected opportunities, surprising favor, or moments of clarity that anchor your hope. You may receive messages or invitations that carry prophetic weight. Pay attention to anything that brings peace to your spirit, even if it disrupts your routine, because peace is the signature of heaven. Anxiety is the signature of darkness. Peace is the pathway to alignment. Chosen one, the world around you may continue shaking, but you will not be shaken. Nations may tremble, systems may collapse, and uncertainty may fill the air, but your foundation has already been secured in God. You are like a tree planted by rivers of living water, steady in every season, because heaven nourishes you from within. This is the season where you learn to walk not by societal stability, but by divine supply. Heaven is your source. Heaven is your anchor. Heaven is your provision. I have lived through seasons where the world felt unstable, but God sustained me in ways that defied logic. You are entering that same realm of divine sustenance. You are not merely receiving blessings, you are deepening your intimacy with the one who blesses. God desires your heart, your trust, your surrender. He is inviting you into a dimension of relationship where you walk with Him, not just on Sundays, but in every decision, every conversation, every endeavor. When you yield your plans for His timing, you begin to experience the supernatural rhythm of heaven. This is where miracles become normal and favor becomes instinctive. This is where destiny writes itself through your obedience. Chosen one, as heaven continues guiding you into deeper alignment, you will begin to understand that what you are stepping into is not simply a breakthrough, but a divine orchestration of events that were written into your destiny long before you took your first breath. You are entering a moment where the invisible begins to shape the visible, where the spiritual blueprint of your life starts to manifest with clarity. This is the kind of moment that many people live their entire lives without ever discerning, yet heaven has chosen you to recognize and respond to it. There is a weight on this moment, a holy significance that pulls on the deepest parts of your spirit, and your heart knows you've been prepared for such a time as this. Every shift you are experiencing is part of a larger divine strategy. Heaven is not improvising, it is revealing. You may have thought certain seasons were wasted or certain years were lost, but heaven wastes nothing. Everything you walked through has been folded into your calling with precision. Even the delays were lessons, even the heartbreaks were molding, and even the detours were alignments. I've walked through seasons where I questioned why my prayers seemed unanswered or why opportunities dissolved just as they began to form. Only later did I realize that heaven had rerouted me for protection, even when I mistook the rerouting for rejection. Chosen one. You are now in the season where the purpose behind your pain begins to unfold. As heaven intervenes, clarity begins to rise within you. you will notice your thoughts becoming sharper, your discernment becoming stronger, and your priorities shifting. What used to distract you will no longer hold power over you. What used to wound you will no longer pierce you. This is the evidence of spiritual maturity being awakened. The anointed one within you is growing louder than the noise around you. Heaven is tuning your spirit to hear what it has always spoken. You are chosen, you are called, you are protected, you are destined. These words are not encouragement, they are identity. You will soon witness answers to prayers you thought God overlooked. But heaven never overlooked them, it simply saved them for the right moment. Timing has always been your greatest battle, and now it will become your greatest blessing. The appointed time is not convenient, it is divine. When heaven releases something into your life, it arrives untouched by delay, uncontaminated by interference, and unchallenged by circumstance. I have experienced the suddenness of God, moments where nothing changed for months, and then everything changed in minutes. You chosen one are stepping into that dimension of suddenly. As your destiny unfolds, not everyone around you will understand it. Some will question your transformation, others will feel threatened by your elevation. This is why heaven has been removing certain voices from your life. You cannot carry divine assignment while surrounded by people who cannot discern divine timing. You may feel lonely at times, but you are never alone. Heaven has surrounded you with angels, with guidance, with invisible counsel that shapes every step you take. Your isolation was not abandonment, it was consecration. Breakthrough is not just coming, it is already moving toward you. You may start to feel unexpected excitement, even if your situation hasn't shifted yet. That excitement is prophetic. It is heaven whispering, prepare yourself. Doors that were shut for years will begin to open effortlessly. Conversations that once led nowhere will suddenly unfold with ease. People who dismissed you will return with newfound respect, not because you changed in their eyes, but because heaven changed the environment around you. Chosen one, the peace you are about to feel will be unlike anything you have known before. It will silence internal battles, dissolve anxieties, and realign your focus. When heaven releases peace, it does not come as a suggestion. It comes as authority. It settles your heart. It anchors your thoughts. It strengthens your decisions. Peace is not the absence of noise, but the presence of God. You are about to know that presence in a deeper way than ever. Heaven wants more than your praise. It wants your partnership. This is the season where God calls you not merely to witness miracles, but to participate in them. Your obedience will shape outcomes. Your surrender will open realms. Your faith will activate destiny codes that have been dormant for years. You will walk in a level of spiritual authority that surprises even yourself. You have always been chosen, but now you are being revealed. Chosen one, as you continue moving through this divine unfolding heaven, is not only shifting external circumstances, but also awakening spiritual capacities within you that have been dormant for years. There are depths to your calling that you have not yet touched, layers of identity that you are only now beginning to recognize. This is why certain parts of your journey felt heavier than others. Greatness always comes with pressure, and destiny always demands refinement. You have been shaped, not shattered, prepared, not punished. Every battle you survived was molding your spiritual muscles for the mantle you were born to carry. You may have questioned whether you were strong enough, wise enough, or worthy enough, but heaven never questioned you. Your questions did not disqualify you. They deepened you. Heaven always knew you would make it to this moment. As you step deeper into your kairos season, you will notice that the instructions heaven whispers to your spirit carry a new level of weight. You may feel nudged to shift your routines, to cleanse your environment, to withdraw from certain voices, or to approach situations with renewed boldness. These nudges are not random thoughts. They are divine strategies. Heaven is helping you build a life that can sustain the magnitude of blessing coming your way. In my own journey, I learned that when God prepares you for increase, He first purifies the atmosphere around you, removing what drains you and highlighting what strengthens you. You are entering this purification phase now, a season where heaven rearranges details you were never meant to carry alone. You may feel drawn to silence more often, not because you are avoiding life, but because heaven is feeding your spirit in the quiet. Chosen one. The enemy senses this shift and attempts to cloud your mind with doubts, fears, or distractions, hoping you will misinterpret the changes taking place within you. But what he fails to understand is that the spiritual growth inside you has already surpassed his reach. You are no longer the version of yourself he once intimidated. You are rising with discernment, strengthening with clarity, and moving with authority. What once overwhelmed you now feels small compared to the destiny unfolding before you. You may feel old insecurities trying to return, but they no longer belong in your story. They are echoes of who you used to be, not who you are becoming. Heaven has rewritten your identity, and your spirit is catching up to that truth. The coming days will reveal how heaven has been aligning your steps without your awareness. Opportunities will arise that feel strangely familiar, almost as if you dreamed them long before they appeared. People will enter your life carrying pieces of your future, offering insights, bridges, or connections that fit perfectly into your prophetic timeline. This is the orchestration of heaven, the weaving of destiny, threads that have been waiting for your surrender. You will not need to force these moments. They will flow naturally, guided by the invisible hand of God that has been shaping your journey since before birth. I have walked through seasons where everything felt disordered until suddenly every piece locked into place as if guided by a higher rhythm. You are entering such a rhythm now. Financial restoration is also being released in this season, not merely as provision, but as repositioning. Heaven is shifting you from survival into stewardship, from scarcity into abundance. You will learn to see money not as a burden, but as a tool for purpose. Unexpected resources may come your way, not as accidents, but as responses to seeds you planted long ago. You will be entrusted with opportunities to multiply what God places in your hands. In my own life, I have seen how God blesses not just with money, but with ideas, connections, and favor that create sustainable increase. The blessing coming your way carries this same divine intelligence. Chosen one relationships are also being refined in this season. Heaven will reveal who is meant to walk with you and who has already completed their role in your story. Some connections will deepen unexpectedly, marked by spiritual resonance and shared purpose. Others will drift away quietly. Let them. You are not losing anyone. You are being aligned. Destiny requires intentional companionship. You cannot carry this mantle alongside those who cannot discern the magnitude of your calling. The anointed one within you is calling for agreement, unity, and spiritual partnership. Heaven will highlight the voices meant to guide you and silence those meant to fade. Trust the shift. Most importantly, you are entering a season where divine confidence replaces human doubt. You will walk differently, speak differently, and think differently. You will sense heaven backing you in decisions you once feared making. You will feel strength in places where weakness once lived. You will embrace opportunities that would have intimidated you a year ago. This confidence is not arrogance, it is awareness. Awareness that heaven is with you. Awareness that destiny is calling. Awareness that you have been chosen for such a time as this. The more you align with this truth, the more unstoppable your journey becomes. Heaven is not waiting on your perfection, it is responding to your yes, chosen one, as you continue walking through this profound unfolding of destiny. Heaven is drawing you into a level of spiritual maturity that few ever experience. You are learning to distinguish between divine timing and human impatience, between God's whispers and the noise of the world, between spiritual attacks and spiritual invitations. These distinctions mark the transition from ordinary faith to prophetic awareness. The anointed one within you is awakening at a depth that cannot be reversed. You are beginning to sense things before they happen, perceive shifts before they manifest, and understand patterns that once confused you. Heaven is no longer simply guiding you. Heaven is partnering with you. In this season, God is teaching you how to handle increase with wisdom. Many people pray for breakthrough without realizing that increase requires capacity. Heaven will not release what you are not prepared to carry. This is why your inner world has been under construction. God was building your endurance, sharpening your discernment, strengthening your resilience, and training your spirit to handle the weight of blessing without collapsing under it. I remember seasons in my own life where I begged for breakthrough but lacked the emotional or spiritual framework to sustain it. When the blessing eventually came, I realized the delay was mercy. You too will see that God's timing is not a denial, but a safeguard. Heaven has waited for you to be ready, and now readiness rests upon you like a mantle. As your spiritual capacity expands, new opportunities will approach you effortlessly. You will notice doors opening that once required exhausting effort. You may receive invitations, recognition, or sudden favor in places where you were previously invisible. This is because your spirit now carries a frequency that heaven can endorse. When God breathes on your name, it travels further than any human network could reach. The influence coming your way is not accidental. It is ancestral, prophetic, and divine. Your lineage, your tears, your obedience, and your sacrifices have all contributed to this moment. Heaven does not elevate randomly. Heaven elevates intentionally. Chosen one as favor increases warfare may attempt to rise, but it will no longer intimidate you. You will sense the enemy's tactics before he executes them. You will see through deception with clarity that startles even you. Where confusion once clouded your decisions, confidence will now guide your steps. You will recognize spiritual traps that would have ensnared you in previous seasons. This heightened discernment is not something you earned. It is something heaven entrusted to you because your calling requires it. The battles coming your way are not meant to defeat you. They are meant to reveal your authority. When you stand in your identity, darkness retreats. Heaven is also reordering your relationships, pruning away what is misaligned and strengthening what is divinely assigned. You may notice changes in the way people respond to you. Some will draw closer because their spirit recognizes your growth, while others will distance themselves because they cannot comprehend your elevation. Let these shifts happen naturally. Destiny does not ask for permission. It demands alignment. The people who remain in your life will be those who value your anointing rather than your comfort. They will speak life into your purpose and hold you accountable to the greatness you carry. These connections are rare and precious, and heaven will highlight them when you posture yourself to receive. Financially, you are entering a season where lack begins to lose its voice. You will think differently about resources, opportunities, and wealth. Your mindset will shift from survival to stewardship. Heaven is preparing you not just to receive wealth, but to manage it, multiply it, and channel it toward purpose. This is why divine ideas may come to you unexpectedly, insights that feel too advanced or too bold for your current circumstances. Do not dismiss them. Heaven plants ideas before it sends resources. In my life, some of the biggest financial breakthroughs came after I took small but strategic steps toward ideas that seemed impossible at first. Heaven honors movement. Chosen one. The peace you will feel in the coming days is not ordinary peace. It is evidence that heaven is drawing you into deeper intimacy. God desires not only your worship, but your companionship, your trust, your awareness, your daily communion. You are learning to walk with Him in decisions, conversations, and quiet moments. This is what true spiritual authority feels like, not loudness, but alignment. Not striving, but surrender. Not anxiety, but assurance. You are being trained to live from your spirit, not your circumstances. You are being prepared to lead, influence, and create from a realm that transcends the natural. Your story is no longer unfolding from the ground up. It is unfolding from heaven down. You will live by divine rhythm, divine timing, and divine wisdom. The more you align with your true identity, the more unstoppable your journey becomes. Everything that once hindered you is losing its power, and everything meant for you is finding its way to you. You are not stepping into an ordinary season. You are stepping into revelation, resurrection, and restoration. Heaven has waited for this moment. Now it is your turn to step into it fully. Chosen one, as heaven continues unveiling the deeper layers of your destiny, you will begin to notice that the spiritual atmosphere around you is becoming more sensitive, more responsive, and more alive than ever before. What once felt distant or difficult to perceive will now feel close, accessible, and almost tangible. This is because heaven is thinning the veil around your life, allowing you to sense the movements of the Spirit with greater clarity. You may experience sudden moments of intuition, insights that seem to come out of nowhere, or an internal pull to take steps that make no logical sense, yet resonate deeply within your spirit. These are signs that you are no longer operating solely from human understanding. You're being guided by divine intelligence. Heaven is training you to trust its voice above all else. You may begin sensing when something is about to happen before it actually does. You may feel a shift in the air around you, a weight on your spirit, or a stirring in your chest that tells you something is unfolding in the unseen realm. I have experienced seasons like this, where my spirit detected a breakthrough or a battle long before my eyes saw evidence of it. At first it felt confusing, but over time I realized it was heaven teaching me the language of timing. You are entering that language now. You are learning to interpret spiritual signals the same way prophets interpret visions. This sensitivity is not an accident. It is part of your calling. The reason your discernment is sharpening is because heaven is preparing you for assignments that require precision. You will soon need to make decisions that carry weight for your future, and heaven cannot allow those decisions to be influenced by fear, confusion, or external pressure. Your spirit is being tuned to recognize truth instantly, to detect deception effortlessly, and to perceive the intentions of people without needing them to speak. This is the maturation of the Anointed One within you. You once walked by signs. Soon you will walk by sight, not physical sight, but spiritual sight. You will see the truth behind situations, the motive behind actions, and the path behind obstacles. Chosen one. There will also be moments in this season where heaven pulls you away from noise, not because you are meant to isolate, but because you are being sanctified. The deeper your destiny, the quieter your environment becomes. Heaven removes distractions, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Some people in your life may fade into the background, not out of conflict, but out of divine timing. Their role in your journey has already been fulfilled. You may feel strange moments of detachment, as if your spirit is separating from anything that drains your energy. This is intentional. Heaven is creating space for the people, opportunities, and revelations that are meant to shape your next chapters. You will also begin noticing your emotional patterns transforming. Where you once reacted quickly, you will now respond with peace. Where you once felt overwhelmed, you will find stability. Where fear once whispered loudly, faith will speak even louder. This inner shift is one of the clearest signs that heaven is maturing your spirit. You are being strengthened not through force, but through revelation. As your identity becomes clearer, your reactions become calmer. You stop fighting battles that are not yours, and you stop carrying burdens heaven never assigned to you. This is what authority feels like, the choice to stand still and let God move. Financially and professionally, heaven is preparing to open doors you once believed were beyond your reach. Opportunities that seemed improbable will begin emerging with surprising ease. You will be positioned in rooms where your name has been spoken by people you have never met. You will attract resources that align with your purpose, not through striving, but through favor. When heaven endorses you, human approval becomes optional. I have lived through seasons where I watched impossible doors swing open simply because I aligned myself with what God was doing. You are entering that same dimension of supernatural access. Chosen one heaven is also healing wounds you buried long ago. Pain that you carried privately, memories you avoided revisiting, and trauma that shaped how you viewed yourself are now being touched by the kindness of God. You may feel waves of emotion rise unexpectedly, not to overwhelm you, but to cleanse you. Healing is not always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet release that happens in the middle of an ordinary day. Heaven is restoring the parts of you that life tried to break, because your next level requires wholeness, not survival. What once caused pain will soon be a testimony of resilience. As this healing takes place, you will feel lighter, clearer, and more present. You will find yourself forgiving people you once thought you could never forgive. You will let go of memories that once held you hostage. You will release expectations that once limited your joy. This freedom is not temporary, it is the beginning of your transformation. Heaven is preparing you for influence, and influence requires emotional purity. Your voice will carry weight because it will come from a healed place, not a wounded one. Chosen one, as your healing deepens and heaven continues aligning every detail of your journey, you will begin noticing that your spirit responds differently to situations that once overwhelmed you. You will feel a new steadiness rising within you, a quiet authority that does not need to prove itself. This is the fruit of spiritual maturity, the evidence that heaven has been shaping you in silence. You may not recognize how much you have grown, but others will. People will comment on your peace, your clarity, your strength, and your wisdom. They will sense something different about you, even if they cannot name it. That difference is the anointing settling upon your life. In this season, heaven will reveal truths you were not ready to see before. You will understand why certain doors closed abruptly, why certain relationships unraveled, and why certain opportunities never manifested. What once felt like injustice will now appear as divine redirection. God did not withhold anything from you. He shielded you from paths that would have hindered your purpose. I too have looked back on seasons of heartbreak, only to later give thanks for every closed door. You will reach that place soon. Understanding will bring closure, and closure will bring peace. As clarity settles in your spirit, you will begin dreaming again, not the shallow dreams of survival, but the deep dreams of destiny. Ideas will flow with ease. Goals will be reborn. Desires you buried will rise with new life. This resurgence is not your imagination. It is heaven breathing upon your purpose. You are stepping into a season where creativity, inspiration, and vision will come naturally. These inner awakenings are alignments of your prophetic blueprint. Heaven is reminding you of plans written about you in the hidden scrolls of your destiny. Your relationships will continue shifting to match your elevation. People who once misunderstood you will begin to see your value, not because you changed, but because your purpose is revealing itself. Some will return seeking reconciliation, while others will quietly observe your growth from a distance. Not all who reappear are meant to re-enter your life. Heaven will give you discernment to know who carries alignment and who carries distraction. At the same time, new relationships will emerge, connections marked by spiritual resonance, mutual purpose, and divine timing. These relationships will feel effortless because they are heaven orchestrated. Chosen one. You are also entering a season of divine rest, not the rest that comes from sleep, but the rest that comes from surrender. You will no longer feel the need to control every outcome or predict every problem. You will learn to trust the unfolding, to let heaven lead without resistance. This rest is a weapon. It disarms fear and confuses the enemy. When your heart is anchored, no storm can uproot you. I have learned that the greatest battles are not won through striving, but through surrender. You are being invited into that truth now. Your finances will continue shifting as heaven aligns resources with your assignment. Unexpected provision may appear, opportunities for increase may unfold, and new streams of income may begin forming. Do not dismiss small beginnings. Heaven often sends increase in seed form. What looks small will multiply when you steward it with faith. Your mindset will shift from lack to abundance, from fear to wisdom, from scarcity to strategy. You will begin to understand that prosperity is not merely about money, it is about alignment with purpose. When purpose aligns, provision follows. As you continue walking, you will feel heaven's protection surrounding you more strongly than ever. Attacks that once shook you will lose their power. Words that once wounded you will no longer penetrate. Plans formed against you will collapse before they reach your doorstep. You are becoming untouchable, not because life is easy, but because heaven is near. You will feel a spiritual hedge around your family, your home, your purpose, and your future. This divine shield is not temporary, it is part of your calling. Most importantly, your intimacy with God will deepen. Conversations with Him will flow naturally. You will sense His presence in moments of silence. You will hear His guidance in subtle impressions. You will feel His comfort in times of uncertainty. This is the essence of your transformation, not just breakthrough, but relationship. Heaven is training you to walk with God, not just receive from Him. Your destiny is not built on blessings. It is built on communion. Chosen one, you are approaching the part of your journey where revelation becomes reality. What heaven whispered in secret will soon manifest publicly. What was spoken over your life in hidden seasons will emerge with undeniable clarity. You are not stepping into a miracle, you are stepping into fulfillment. The scroll of your destiny is unrolling before your eyes, and nothing can stop what heaven has started. Chosen one, As you continue walking deeper into this divine unfolding, heaven is beginning to reveal why your journey has carried the weight it did. There were seasons when you felt pressed from every side, moments when you wondered whether God saw you, heard you, or remembered the promises spoken over your life. Yet now, as the layers of your destiny begin to peel back, you will see that none of those experiences were accidental. Every tear, every delay, every disappointment was preparing your spirit to recognize the magnitude of what is coming. Heaven never wastes pain. Instead, it converts pain into wisdom, clarity, authority, and compassion. What you endured became the very material heaven is now using to elevate you. There is a shift happening within you, a quiet yet undeniable awakening that marks the transition from survival into assignment. You are no longer reacting to life the way you once did. You are discerning it. You are no longer merely enduring seasons. You are interpreting them. This is the transformation of the chosen one, the movement from confusion into clarity, from wandering into purpose, from questioning into alignment. In my own journey, the moment I began to understand that life was not happening to me, but aligning for me, everything changed. You are entering that revelation now. Heaven is teaching you how to walk with intention rather than reaction. In this season, you may feel yourself being pulled inward, not into isolation, but into intimacy. Heaven is drawing you into deeper relationship, deeper stillness, deeper awareness. The noise that once clouded your judgment is being silenced. Thoughts that once spiraled now lose their power. Emotions that once destabilized you now pass through you without uprooting your peace. This is the evidence of spiritual maturity forming within you. Heaven is settling your heart so that when the doors open, you walk through them with confidence instead of fear. You are entering the kind of peace that does not depend on circumstance, but flows from identity. Chosen one. There is also an increase of divine strategy in your spirit. Ideas may come to you unexpectedly, instructions may form in your heart without explanation, and solutions may appear that your mind alone could not have produced. This is heaven feeding your purpose. You will begin to recognize that the clarity you receive is not merely internal, it is prophetic. Heaven is equipping you for assignments that require spiritual intelligence, not just natural understanding. You may feel compelled to take steps that confuse others, but feel profoundly right to you. That inner assurance is the voice of the Spirit guiding your path. Your relationships are undergoing refinement in this phase because destiny requires agreement. You may notice certain connections dissolving naturally, not through conflict, but through spiritual divergence. This is heaven protecting your next chapter. Those who cannot discern your calling cannot walk with you into its fulfillment. At the same time, heaven will begin sending individuals who recognize your anointing, who carry wisdom for your journey, and who understand the weight of your assignment. These relationships will strengthen you, sharpen you, and confirm what heaven is building inside you. They will feel effortless because they are divinely orchestrated. Financially, heaven is preparing to reposition you. You will begin noticing how your mindset around provision shifts. Instead of fear, you will feel expectation. Instead of scarcity, you will sense opportunity. Heaven will open doors that seemed sealed for years, and what once required striving will now begin to flow naturally. You may receive unexpected favor, promotions, opportunities, or creative downloads that generate resources. This is not accidental, it is prophetic alignment. When heaven shifts your assignment, it shifts your provision. Provision follows purpose, and your purpose is expanding. You may also find your physical body responding to the spiritual elevation taking place. Fatigue may lift, clarity may increase, emotional heaviness may dissolve, healing may unfold in ways that surprise you. The more aligned you become with heaven's purpose, the more wholeness begins to manifest in your life. Heaven is not just transforming your story, it is transforming your entire being. You are stepping into a season where wholeness is not a dream, but a reality. Chosen one. Your confidence is rising not because you are becoming someone new, but because you are remembering who you were always meant to be. You are stepping into spiritual authority with grace and humility. You are shedding the opinions of others, the doubts of yesterday, and the fears that once controlled your decisions. Heaven is calling you into a higher version of yourself, and your spirit is finally strong enough to answer that call. Chosen one. The deeper you move into your prophetic timeline, the more you will sense that heaven is not simply guiding you, but unveiling you. You're emerging from a season of hiddenness into a season of revelation. What was once concealed is now being brought into the light, not to expose you, but to announce you. Heaven hides its treasures until they are ready, and you have been hidden, not because you lacked value, but because you carried too much value to be revealed prematurely. Now, however, the timing is right, the preparation is complete, and your spirit is aligned with the fullness of your calling. You will notice in this season that opportunities approach you more often than you pursue them. This is because heaven has endorsed your name in rooms you have never entered. Conversations about you are happening without your knowledge. People are being drawn to your presence without fully understanding why. This is the divine magnetism of a chosen one, stepping into their appointed time. The favor surrounding you is not ordinary favor. It is generational, prophetic, and purpose-driven. Heaven is orchestrating moments that cannot be explained by human logic, because heaven is demonstrating its hand upon your life. As you continue forward, you may feel a deeper sense of responsibility rising within you. Not burden, but purpose. Not pressure, but calling. Heaven is trusting you with greater influence, and influence requires integrity, humility, and wisdom. You are being sharpened internally, so that when your voice carries further, it carries truth, power, and authenticity. I have learned that influence without character becomes a trap, but influence built upon refinement becomes legacy. You are being shaped for legacy now. You are being positioned to impact lives far beyond your immediate circle. Chosen one. This season will also reveal the true intentions of people around you. Some will celebrate your elevation, while others will feel threatened by it. Some will recognize your divine assignment, while others will attempt to cling to the version of you that no longer exists. Do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Do not dim your light to preserve familiarity. Heaven is calling you higher, and not everyone can follow. Some relationships will deepen, others will dissolve, and heaven will give you peace about both outcomes. You are being aligned with people who carry vision, faith, and spiritual maturity. Your discernment will continue sharpening, allowing you to perceive deception instantly and recognize truth intuitively. Situations that once confused you will now appear clear. People who once manipulated your emotions will lose access to your spirit. The wisdom you gain in this season will protect you in the next. Heaven is not just elevating you, it is equipping you. You will learn to differentiate between divine opportunities and distractive opportunities, between timing that feels urgent and timing that feels aligned, between battles worth fighting and battles meant to be surrendered. Financial breakthroughs will continue unfolding as you step into greater alignment. Heaven is teaching you how to manage abundance with clarity and purpose. You may feel inspired to restructure your finances, start new projects, expand your skills, or pursue opportunities that align with your calling. Do not ignore these nudges. Heaven speaks through inspiration as much as it speaks through instruction. In my own life, the greatest financial shifts occurred when I followed quiet, intuitive prompts that made no sense on paper but were completely aligned with destiny. You will experience similar leadings in this season. Emotionally, you will feel yourself becoming more anchored. Anxiety will lose its influence. Fear will weaken. Doubt will quiet. You will walk through situations that once triggered insecurity with newfound assurance. This inner strength is not self-created, but heaven-given. It is the reward of perseverance, obedience, and surrender. You have allowed heaven to refine your heart, and now your heart is strong enough to carry the weight of your blessing. Chosen one. You are not just being elevated, you are being unveiled. You are stepping into a version of yourself that heaven dreamed before you existed. You are reclaiming authority, identity, purpose, and destiny. You are walking into fulfillment, not by force, but by alignment. Heaven is not pushing you forward, it is ushering you forward. Your life is entering a chapter where the supernatural becomes natural, where favor becomes familiar, and where destiny becomes visible. Chosen one, as you reach this final stretch of your divine unfolding, heaven is settling a deep truth into your spirit, a truth that confirms you were never walking blindly, but were being guided step by step into this moment of clarity. You are standing on the threshold of a new chapter 1 that carries the weight of everything you have prayed for and everything heaven has prepared. You may feel a mixture of peace and anticipation, a quiet knowing that something in your life has shifted permanently, because this is the hour when destiny begins to manifest in real time. The hidden scroll of your calling is unsealing, and your spirit recognizes it even before your mind fully understands what is happening. You are entering a season where doors will open effortlessly, relationships will align naturally, and opportunities will rise without striving. Heaven has gone before you, clearing paths that were once obstructed and illuminating steps that were once dark. What you are stepping into is not chance, but fulfillment. Not coincidence, but prophecy. You have been refined, prepared, and positioned. Now, your only task is to walk forward with surrendered confidence, trusting that the God who began this transformation will complete it with glory. Chosen one. As you stand in this holy moment, may your spirit recognize that your sealed prophecy is opening and the hidden scroll of your destiny is unfolding before you. This is your exact kairos hour on heaven's clock, the door ordained for you before time began. Walk forward in reverence, knowing every step is guided, every promise is active, and every blessing is already in motion. Remain faithful, stay aligned, and let gratitude prepare your heart for what is about to manifest. If this word confirms your spirit, share it, or comment as an act of agreement. You are anointed, you are rising, and heaven goes with you.